Hey y'all, what's up? What's good? Welcome back to 7 Days of Daily Growth with Nay. I hope you guys are doing great. Welcome. What's good? It's Tuesday, Tuesday's word of the day. I'm gonna hop right in, y'all. It is week 15, day 3, and we are on O. Today's word is optimism or optimist. First I looked up optimism, but then I looked up optimist when I started to think about my questions, and they're both the same thing, really. I think it's just the way you use it, is what makes the difference, of course. So basically, yes, they were the same thing. And so optimism is a doctrine that this world is the best place. But in the definition of an optimist, it says the same thing. It doesn't really say doctrine, but it's like when a person believes that the world is good and that good most ultimately prevails evil. So that's what optimist means. And then for the second definition, optimism had kind of a different definition, but it was the same ending as the second definition that I'm about to say for optimist. But I just took out the one for optimism and just put the definition that I got from optimist, because like I said, they both, if you look it up, they both say the same thing basically. And so I just did two definitions, and this one is more so what an optimist is. But again, when you look up optimism, it literally says the same thing. So number 2, the second definition, a person who tends to be hopeful and confident about the future or the success of something. So again, the definitions, a doctrine that this world is the best place and good most ultimately prevails over evil. And then number 2, a person who tends to be hopeful and confident about the future or the success of something. So the opposite of an optimist and optimism is pessimistic. So that means you have the tendency to see the worst in everything, and that you only believe that the worst is going to happen. So that's the opposite of optimism. And why I brought it up is because I used to be real pessimistic, so it is like a hard transition, but I can say I've been doing better. So conversational pieces, number 1, are you an optimist? If so, what has allowed you to have this particular view of optimism on life? If you are not an optimist, express why. And so again, that more so has to do with the first definition, which is like a person, or you have this doctrine, which a doctrine is basically a set of beliefs that you believe in that's normally set by like a certain type of group. And so basically I take it as that's your view on life, and that's how you see life, and that's what you believe. Like you believe that the world is a good place and that evil prevails. I mean you believe that the world is a good place and overall good prevails evil. And so do you have that type of view on life? And if you do, what has allowed you to have that type of view? And I honestly, I'm going to say that on that question. And then it says, if you are not an optimist, express why. Just based off the strength that I've always solely kind of been a pessimist, and I'm just now really learning what it means to really be optimistic about life and that's me. Like, that's when I first started my journey. That's me changing my perspective on life and how I see it, and especially my life. But optimism is basically like, I feel like it's overall, if you see the world as a good place, like regardless of everything that go on, do you feel like the world is a good place? Regardless of, of course there's craziness in the world, but do you overall believe that the world is a good place and that good ultimately prevails evil? Like regardless, good is still, above evil. Like it can overcome evil. And so off the strength of me just now getting this type of attitude and really me working on it, like it's something I still work on, I'm gonna say that I am not an optimist. And my second question was, what has allowed you to have this particular view? So what has allowed me to not be really optimistic on life, not being an optimist, is that life ain't always been pretty. I've seen a lot growing up, growing up a little fast. You know what I'm saying? So I just, as far as, I just never really considered the world, really, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I never really considered that the world is the best place, because, you know, I always didn't like the things that I saw. I didn't always like the situations that I was in. I didn't always like my life. I didn't always love my life and what I was dealing with and what I had to deal with and what I've been through and, you know, what I've seen. Like I said, it hasn't always been pretty. So why would I go out into the world thinking this is the best world ever and that good prevails evil when, you know, all I've seen is chaos and craziness and, you know, toxicness, and then dealing with my own growing up and becoming a teenager and making mistakes and going through what I'm going through as a teenager and having those feelings, and then a young adult dealing with all of that. So of course life is not, it's not good. The world is not good. This is a crazy world, and I just put me somewhere else. Like, I don't want to live this life. Like, I'm thinking this is the worst. Like, this is not, like, this is terrible. This is horrible. I don't like this. Like I tell you, I've never been suicidal, but like I tell you, I have not wanted to do my life. Like, y'all, you can have it. And that's not really being optimistic, because I'm going through stuff, and instead of seeing the good, instead of going out and seeing the good and having a different perspective and view on life in my life, that, you know, regardless of the bad things going on, good is going to prevail. No, I didn't think like that. Like, I was very much mad, angry, very much over it, very much not care, you know, especially as a young adult, you know, after just going through childhood and then going through teenage and young adult, and by that time I'm in college and, you know, really on my own. I am through. I'm over it. Like, this, whatever, I don't care. I really do not care. Just a very pessimistic view, for real, because I'm like, this can't get no worse. Like, I don't care. I just didn't care. I didn't care about life. So I don't want to answer that question and say, yes, I'm an optimistic person. No, because I'm learning that right now. I'm learning to be more optimistic, you know, seeing the good. Like, the world is good, God is good. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I do feel like good can overcome evil. Like, all the bad stuff in the world, like, but we got a long ways to go. You know, and I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like that's a lot of work for good to really prevail evil. Do I think it's possible? Yes. I feel like a lot of us just been through a lot of traumatic, toxic, chaotic situations, been toxic environments, you know, that can be healed from. Just generations of curses that can be healed, that can be worked through, if really tried. But, you know, I feel like, yeah, it's like, even on my journey now, I see, and, you know, just from what surrounds me, I see that change is, you can really, I got a little thing in my phone now. You'll be really surprised to see how people don't really want to change, like, afraid of change, afraid to do things differently. Like, yeah, it, like, when you start making changes, I think you really, really see how scared other people are of change. Like, I'm not saying I'm trying to make nobody change, but, because I'm not, but you just can see, like, when you're changing and things are different, you can start to notice other people, like, be afraid of that. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to act around you no more, because you're changing, and they know you're changing for the good. They see you making better changes, and they might want to change, and they might want to do different, but they're scared. And so, and instead of, like, coming to you and, you know, saying, you know, yo, what you got going on, how you do this, how you do that, or not even how, but just what makes you want, like, asking the necessary questions. What makes you want to do this? What makes you want to do that? What, you know, what's the benefit? And, you know, trying to educate themselves, they fall back, or they start acting, you know, weird, because they don't want to really change. Like, it looks good, you go, girl, but I'm good. You know, I'm gonna stay over there. I'm gonna avoid you. But that's true. And so I don't want to say like, yeah, you know, I feel like everybody can change and the world can be good and we ain't got to be bad no more and ain't going to be no more evil and people ain't going to do no more crazy stuff. Do I think it's possible? I really do. You know, I feel like the world could be a little bit more orderly. But, I mean, I don't know. I ain't going to really speak too much on that. But just, that's me expressing why I have not always been an optimistic person. I ain't really always seen butterflies and candy corns and, you know, ponies, blue skies, you know, in my world, in the way I grew up. And when I talk about the way I grew up, I don't want people to think that I wasn't like, you know, I was raised by a village. Like, people that raised me, they couldn't give me much, but in the way they raised me, I knew they loved me. Like, for example, my grandma, my granny, my maternal grandmother, she ain't have much. She ain't have much to give us. But first of all, I've always seen her do what she can. And I've always felt her love. And that's why, like, for me, I'm not a materialistic person at all. And I don't really care about, you know, money, especially from other people. I don't really care about what another person can give me. Because the way I was raised around a lot of chaos and a lot of imperfectness, you know, a lot of toxicness. But I was given unconditional love, especially from certain people, you know. I won't say everybody, you know, but I will say that I could tell from the way I was brought up that, you know, I was definitely loved, especially through my grandmother. And I was just talking about her, like, she didn't have much to give me, but I felt her love. And anytime I needed a shoulder to cry on, or if I need to go complain, or, you know, about how bad my life is and how my mom get on my nerves, she was right there, you know, pouring out her love. Like, I know you would, you know. So, you know, I just wanted to make that, I just wanted to make that part clear, you know, because I don't want, you know, I want to make, you know, I don't want to, like, give out any false information. You know what I'm saying? Because definitely, I've seen some stuff, you know, it's crazy. I was just thinking about some stuff that I forgot all about the other day, like, that I used to see that was crazy, and I realized what kind of effect it had on me from seeing it, but I don't really want to speak on it. I don't mind speaking on it, but I ain't gonna speak on it today. But, it's just that, you know, I've seen some stuff that I shouldn't have seen. I've seen a lot of stuff that I really shouldn't have seen. I was, exposed to a lot of stuff that, as a child, they shouldn't see, really. You know, but that's how it is growing up, you know, in a black, you know, environment. As a black child, you see a lot, you exposed to a lot, and it changes you, first of all, you know what I'm saying? It does. But I just want to make that clear that, you know, regardless of what I've seen and, you know, how imperfect the people that raised me are, you know, I know that I was loved. That, you know, even if some people didn't even show me, you know, I knew I was loved. And then I got a little bit older, and then it started to be like, well, I don't think stuff started to change when you get a little bit older too. Like, you see different stuff at different ages differently. Like, when you get a little bit older, especially when you become a teenager, and you really, maybe even before that, when you really can comprehend. I think for me it was probably about 13. You really can comprehend and see who people really are, and that just turns you into who you were never supposed to be, you know, in my opinion. But yeah, that's why I'm not an optimist, because, and, you know, also that's what made me a daydreamer. That's what made me want better. Like, I've always daydreamed of better, you know, like, I've always daydreamed of having more than what was, you know, given to me growing up. Like I said, what am I gonna be optimistic about? This shit regular. This stuff regular, like, you know, I'm outside with the, you know, this normal. I'm drinking at 13, wilding, you know, I don't, you know. It was just, you know, ain't nothing to be optimistic about. Ain't nobody ever tell me I could do anything I want to do. So, You know, ain't nobody tell me I can go out here and conquer the world. Ain't nobody tell me, you know, wait, you're going to be a beautiful bride one day. You know, you're going to have a beautiful family one day. I grew up in a single household. My daddy wasn't around. I knew him. He was a provider, but he wasn't in the house. So what do I got to be optimistic about? So when you already not optimistic about your future and nobody's helping you to get that type of view on life, you know, as you grow older and stuff just get worse and you just start making your own mistakes, you start digging yourself into a deeper hole of, you know, pessimism. Like, it is what it is. I don't care. Like, what more can go wrong in this effed up world, in this effed up life? You know what I'm saying? What more can... And that's how I was looking at life. Like, forget it. I don't care. I'm an F up anyway, you know? That's how people see me anyway. People doubt me anyway. Like, you know, oh, she gonna mess up. She ain't... Hey, look. But then, you know, I had to change my view. I got that piece of advice. Like, you got to change how you look at your life. And when I did that and started really living for me, that's how the optimism came. And then God just, you know, also bringing in more wisdom just let me know, like, look, life ain't always pretty. You got to find the good. Take the rain with the sunshine. Like, I still got to be like, regardless if it's raining in my world, I still gotta find some good in it. You know, I still gotta be optimistic about everything I got going on. I still gotta have a good attitude. You know, I can't let that bring me down. I can't lay in it. Number 2, do you believe that it is easy to be optimistic as it relates to definition number 2? There are some people in this world that are optimistic, and I feel like there's people in this world that, you know, were raised to be optimistic. They're raised to see, you know, the good in life and raised to go through stuff. Like, you're going to go through stuff, but just trying to find a good in it. Like, you know, regardless of what I go through, girl, I'm going to get through it. I think there's people in, you know, me, no. This already effed up. I don't care no more. So, do you believe that it's easy to be optimistic? To be a person that was not optimistic, to changing my view on life, seeing my life differently, and really have been seeing the world differently too. Making that change and trying to be that person, have that view on life, trying to find the good in crazy life situations and chaos and toxicness. Is that easy? Is it easy to be like, you know, everything all good regardless? Is it easy to be like that? No. It's not. I got this the other day, right? And I keep trying to, and I got this the other day because every time I take a bottle of water to work, my kids always touching on it. And I hate that. Like, why y'all just grabbing my bottle of water? Like, come on now. Like, 6 feet, COVID. Like, why y'all just touching my... I hate it. And sometimes I sit it down and I do stuff. Or sometimes I, you know, sit it... Like, I don't want to hold my bottle the whole time I'm at work. But if I don't, my kids are going to have their hands all over it, take it, and want to throw it. Like, there are some... We're not going to talk about them. But, like, why y'all... Leave me alone. Leave this thing alone. Leave her stuff alone. Like, why is y'all touching my stuff? So I just thought, like, if I have this, it'll be, you know... They won't touch it. And they didn't. But also, I really kept it close when I brought it to work for the first time Monday. But anyways, like I was about to say, this has a straw to it. Why my crazy stuff keep doing like this? When all I gotta do is... I don't know what's wrong with me. But again, do you believe that it's easy to be optimistic as it relates to definition 2? And again, definition 2 is a person who tends to be hopeful and confident about the future or the success of something. It's not easy. From my point of view, this is actually a good conversational piece, especially if you have this conversation with somebody that's, you know, an optimistic person. Good conversation because you get to catch both views. Very good conversational piece. But I was like, these are good conversational pieces. When I was writing them in my notebook, I was like, these are good. As a person that hasn't always had the view of, you know, being confident about my future or my success, Because, you know, I was like, F it. I don't care what happened. You know, people already think, you know, I'm done for it anyway, you know. So, might as well give them what they want. Just forget it. I really wasn't confident in myself and what I could do. Even though I had accomplished so much. Which is crazy, right? Instead of celebrating the fact that I did get out of school, that I did get accepted to a great university, that I have already completed, you know, some of college, you know, working 2 jobs, own an apartment, you know, like stuff like that. Just it didn't feel like I was doing enough. I didn't feel like I was making people proud. I didn't feel like, you know, and that's how people make me feel too. Like with their comments and just always having something to say. And that's why a big part of growing is living for yourself and not taking nothing personal, because it got more so to do with them than you. Because I done accomplished so much more than some people have accomplished. Yet people be having stuff to say and I don't understand. But I allowed that to get to me and bring me down and make me feel even more less confident about what I had going on. You know, I allowed that to add to my pain, add to the stuff that I already had going on. Like, I'm already struggling, trying to survive, and I'm letting people be negative about, you know, just letting what people think define what I had going on. When no, because I was doing a deep thing, tired and all. But at some point, I just got tired. I really did. Like, I just didn't care. Like, what am I doing this for again? I still ain't heard I'm proud of you from nobody. Like, but now I don't look for stuff like that. That's a part of changing your view on life and changing your view on your life. When you stop doing it for everybody else. When you just do it for you. You know? When you start having your own values, valuing the things that you want to value. I value my education now because that's what I want to do. You know, at first, it was somebody else's value to instill education in me so that I could make it out. Yes, I knew I was smart and intelligent. Yes, I did want to college. Nobody forced me to go to college, but also, like, it was also not really, like, a question. Like, can I not? It won't really, like, you know, I don't know. But at the same time, like, you know, it was something I wanted to do, but at the same time, what I do now, and if I had the chance, the opportunity to go back and somebody say, you have the capability and the potential to do this and follow a dream, and you're going to end up, you know, being very successful at it, or do you want to go to college? I would have picked following my dream. Like, the dream, like, somebody told me that I could do what I'm doing now and be successful, and, you know, I didn't have to go to college. I would choose that. And, you know, even if, like, and I wouldn't even say somebody came to me and said, oh, you're going to be successful. It would be just that somebody came to me and said, you know, if I said, this is what I want to do, this is my dream, and they said, well, yeah, go for it. You don't got to go to school. You're going to be real successful. Like, that could really make you successful if you work hard at it and you keep going, if you really put your all into it. And I could have been doing that, you know. I'm just saying, but because that would, if that would have been an option, you know. But I think, like, really, y'all, if I would have had that in my head then and knew what I really, what my, you know, what I was really supposed to be doing out here, and I would have sat down and told my mom that, she probably would have looked at me like I was crazy. Like, girl, go to school. You going to school. But, yeah, like, I'm just rambling a little bit on this question. But, you know, I don't think that it's easy. I think it's something that you have to work at. I feel like you have to work at changing that view on life. I feel like you have to work to change that view from being a pessimistic person to being an optimist. Being more confident in your future and in your success, in the success of things, and seeing the good in life. Because, you know, sometimes you grow up and all you see is messed up, crazy stuff, poverty, toxicness, drugs, alcohol, sex, money, the streets. Like, when that's all you see, you really just, that's all you see. And as you get older and you really start to, continue down the wrong path, and you don't really got no guidance, you don't really see, but for me at a certain age it kind of slowed down for me, because I moved around a little bit, so it kind of slowed down and it kind of got a little quiet. But then when it got a little quiet, a lot of stuff is already like instilled in me. And then also, that's when I really came into being that antisocial person, like that person that wasn't really outgoing or really wasn't talking anymore. So, just alone. And I kind of took that with me, like from 11th grade up into college, like really up until now. I kind of took that unhealthy antisocialness with me, because then it became to a point where I became like socially anxious. Like I don't do well with conversation, because I went so long with not building relationships besides being in a relationship. But outside of my relationship, I didn't have any other friendships, not because they didn't want me to have them, but because I had already gotten to a point where this is not where I want to be anyway. So I don't want to make friends. Like I was kind of resistant to change. I didn't adapt when I moved to Greenville. So that put me in a place where I became anti. And then by the time I'm in college and around other people and, trying to make friends and, trying to move on and be an adult and, grow up, by that time I was very, socially anxious. Like I don't know what to do. Like I haven't had connections, friends in forever. I haven't stepped out of my comfort zone and made a friend, so I don't even know how to act. Like I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to say. In parties, like I need a drink. I got a drink in me, I'm good. But I'm glad I'm so over that now. Like I don't need to have a drink to just enjoy and be myself. Just give me like 2 shots and we good. But I really don't even need that one, and I really don't even need that. But it's not easy. It's not easy. And this is another thing about conversational pieces, like good questions. You get a lot out of it. Like you see how I kind of just hit on a lot of stuff, a lot of different things. You get a lot. You can pull a lot out of good questions. That's why I love philosophy. You can get a lot because you can learn more when you can, as you deepen the discussion, as you pull different subjects off of one topic. It's great. You can learn a lot. So it's not easy though. I don't think it's easy. It's a process. It takes work. It takes time to really start to be confident about your future and, the success of life. And I say, because it says success of something, but I say the success in life, just to see your life differently, and that, you can have be successful. Like your kids don't have to grow up in a toxic environment. You don't have to continue to be a toxic person and carry on toxic cycles, like drinking and, addictions and stuff like that. Like you don't have to continue that on. You can stop that. But I feel like once you get to that place where you're learning and you're applying optimism, and then you really get to that place where you are really just optimistic, I think that's a very, very great place to be. It feels good to see me applying it now. I won't say that I'm fully there, because every once in a blue moon, there are situations where I think the worst. Like in my head, I'm like, oh Lord, like this cannot be good. This is not going to be good. This is a disaster. And I just can't believe this is happening to me. That happens still. It happens. But, I try to work through it. Like when a situation arises and I become pessimistic about it, it really takes me about a couple of days to really work through that process of trying to see the good, because it's here. Especially when I feel like it's something that it's just, oh my God. I can't believe this is what's happening to me. I can't believe I'm going through this. Like when that situation arises, any type of situation like that, it takes me a couple of days to really walk myself through that process of trying to see the good in it, because it's one of those situations where, OMG. But, for the most part, for the little things where, I try to be like, oh my God, But then I hop back and like, oh, this is not this. I try to, okay, this, like a bad day basically, like just having like a bad day. I try to be optimistic, these days. Like, you know what? Give myself some grace, because giving yourself grace is optimism. That's seeing the good and being able to let it go and just come back to it later and get some rest and just, I'm not dealing with it right now. I'm not. But also just being able to pick yourself up out of bad moods. And then, at the end of the day, just being able to just go back over your day and analyze, like, trying to see what happened for me to have a bad day. Because sometimes it be us too. Sometimes we continue to allow the littlest things to affect us throughout the day, and to the point where it just ends up being the worst day ever. But go back through that day, definitely. But yes, no, I don't believe it's easy. It's not easy, especially when you are known to, have a battle in your mind. And when you're just not used to good. When you're not used to good, it's hard to really think that good things can happen for you, and, your life can be successful. And it's hard to really have confidence in your future when you're not used to nothing good. But it's a process that you should try to work on. Try to work on being more optimistic. A person who tends to be hopeful and confident about the future or the success of something. You can do anything you put your mind to. You can do anything you're capable of. And if nobody ever told you, I'm telling you now. It's in you. It's in you. I don't know if it's in everybody. I don't know. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna be mean and say that. I don't know. There's people out here that should be worried about. But, you can do anything you put your mind to. You have a dream. Everybody has a dream. Figure it out. Follow it. Ask God, like, what is your purpose? What is my divine purpose? What was I put here to do? What was I created to be? And then go after it and be optimistic in what you're doing. Know that you can do it. Know that it is going to happen. Know that it is going to happen. I be having to slow down. Like, sometimes I be moving so fast too. I be like, slow down, Nay. Like, now I tell myself, slow down, Nay. Like, if I'm reading my Bible or, talking too fast, I stop and be like, slow down, Nay. I be having to slow down. I think I just be wanting to get through stuff so fast that I just be moving so fast. The way I talk, the way I move sometimes, fast. But let's not have a pessimistic view. Let's not be pessimistic. Let's be optimistic. Let's have a view of optimism, Not and as far as the first definition, the world is the best place and good most ultimately prevails over evil. Some people, not everybody gonna see it that way. But the way I see it when I read that definition, sometimes, how we say, I live in my own world, I'm in my own world. Make your world the best place ever. Make the world you live in a good place. If you follow me. So, like, that's what I do now. Like, my little bubble, my little world, best place, even when it's raining. And when I go outside into the real world, I allow how I feel about my own world to pour into the outside world. So, let's say I encounter somebody rude. Like, I encountered somebody rude today. I felt that energy. It was kind of rude to me. I don't have a car right now, so my best friend took me to school and I Ubered back. And it was yeah, she was. And she was what what she was. And, I could sense she was kind of rude. You could always sense somebody being rude or they kind of rude because, you speak and you can hear it in their voice and you can just tell. I don't know. You can always, you can tell when somebody's rude. So when I got out, I was just telling her, I was like, thank you. Have a great day. She was like, you're welcome. And that was it. And I was like, also be safe. And she didn't say nothing. Like, well, no. I was like, thank you. She was like, you're welcome. I was like, have a nice day. She didn't say nothing back. So then as I was getting out, I was like, and be safe as well. And I think that caught her off guard. She kind of hesitated. And then she was like, thank you. Or whatever. Because just because you encounter a rude person or, deal with something bad or evil, if you want to say, out in the outside world, make your world so beautiful and so good that that does not affect you and that you still pour out good because you're pouring out good from your world into this world. So, my world is the best place to be, in my opinion. I'm good over here. I'm happy. And when I step out into the real world, I try to pour out that energy by just being good, you know? So it's definitely a process to me. I don't think it's an easy process, especially when, again, you haven't always seen good in life. So just work on it. When you do realize that you can change, and that was what I had to do. I had to change my perspective. I had to become more optimistic versus pessimistic, because I was very pessimistic. Like, I ain't never seen good, or, rarely. I know love, but I ain't really seen nothing really good out here. So, it's just only just been crazy since. But I had to change how I was thinking about my life. Because there is good in my life. And I found it. And I'm glad to be here. And I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to be out of the darkness. Out of that dark place. Grateful to be where I am right now. Especially up here and in here and with my emotions and just with everything. Just growth and healing. And being confident in my future, most importantly. Because I am very confident in my future and the things that I'm about to do for me. And for the kids coming up after me. And for my own family that I'm going to create. So that's why working to have a more optimistic view is good, because it does help you see your own life differently. Work at that. Work at it. Because it's good is out there and it's possible to have. And it don't gotta look like having all the money in the world and having this and having that, Be confident in your future, whatever it looks like for you. The success of your wonderful life. Because we all can be successful and we all can do great things. Whether on a small scale or a huge scale or in the middle, it don't matter. I hope you guys have had a wonderful Tuesday. Y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe. Y'all be patient. Be humble. Be kind. Be gentle. Show compassion. You are love. Love is within you. Show love. Be love. You are light. Shine your light. Don't let nobody dim it. Don't dim your light for nobody. Shine it. You are the only one there is. There is nobody else that is you out there that can be you. Be you. I love you all from my heart to yours.